All right, so a clunker of a game for the Padres. Really, it blew up there, obviously, in that bad seventh inning. 10 runs there by the Yankees in the seventh inning. I didn't get a chance to watch this one, so I'm not going to talk too long about this game. Really, to me, today was about, at least from someone that didn't watch, was Jackson Merrill returning and then Luis Campusano being optioned down over someone like Oscar Gonzalez. So I'll get into that. But just real quickly here, I did watch the highlights, and wow, that was batting practice in that seventh inning. I mean, walking Trent Grisham on 4 pitches with the bases loaded, can't do that. Meatballs thrown over the plate, the home run to Austin Wells, that ball was batting practice. The Bellinger one, that was batting practice as well. I think that one was right down the middle. Mistake pitches to Ben Rice. I mean, just, yeah, not great. And the Yankees aren't fully healthy either. And so, that really sucks. It sucks regardless, even if the Yankees were healthy. But to be in the game like they were, and Michael King goes out there and goes 6 innings and 2 earned runs. Sure, he gave up the homer to Judge, but kept the Padres in it and then just falls apart. Coming off of last night and how exciting that was at the end, for this to happen tonight just sucks. But Jackson Merrill didn't get hurt. He ends up returning in this game, and first at bat right out of the get go, doubled down the line, and he went 2 for 4 in this game. So good to see him back. Um, you know, win tomorrow with Dylan Cease on the mound against Max Fried. Maybe that would be interesting. The Padres, didn't they beat Max Fried in that wild card series? I thought they did. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they did. Anyway, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Both teams, Padres and the Yankees, had 10 hits, and the Yankees won 12-3. Yeah. Interesting. 1 for 7, the Padres went with runners in scoring position. Yankees went 6 for 12. Padres left 7 on base. Yankees left 2. Tatis earlier in the game, right, with the throwing error, which wasn't even close to getting to close to Manny on that throw to third. Probably should have just ate it. I know it's Tatis in his arm, and he does things where it's like, no way, but he does it. But yeah, that one, obviously, in hindsight, it's pretty easy to be like, yeah, maybe should have ate that one. But I did want to get to Merrill coming back. And obviously, someone had to go off the roster. So Campy, obviously, he is the one that got sent down today. I thought it was going to be Oscar Gonzalez, not going to lie. You bring Campy up not too long ago. You brought him up on May 5th, or May 3rd, excuse me. Sorry. May 3rd. And you sent him down before the May 6th game. I thought if you're going to bring Campy up, you're not just going to bring him up for a few games. You're going to have him come up to be your right-handed DH option, with Gavin Sheets being the left-handed DH option. And then based on matchups, the other guy that doesn't start, he can come into the game later off the bench. But guess not. Oscar can be that, I guess, if they have Hayward in left field. But really, I feel like this comes down to them not wanting to play Hayward every day. And so that they can have Oscar go play left field when it's, a lefty on the mound, for example, right? Oscar, though, would I rather have Oscar or Brandon Lockridge playing left field or just on the roster? Now, both made it because Campy goes down. Actually, probably the better question then should be, would I rather have Campy and Lockridge or Lockridge and Gonzalez? And for me, I'd probably rather have Lockridge and Campy at the moment. Just Oscar, he hasn't done much to, impress me to be like, yeah, that guy needs to be on the roster. Now, you could say the same thing about Campy, but what I would say is, well, how many at-bats has Campy had at the big league level this year? How much of a shot has he had at the big league level this year? Now, the Padres may be like, hey, just go get consistent at-bats down there. But I thought that this was going to be the opportunity that he would get those consistent at-bats here at the big league level as a DH when, a lefty's on the mound. And then who knows what would have happened later down the road. Let's say in this hypothetical that Campy hits, and then they have to keep him in the order, but you don't want to have him DHing every day, next year, for example. What if they can't keep a rise and then maybe Campy goes and plays first? There's just some things there that could happen. Injuries can happen. Maybe Campy. I mean, the way he was hitting at the minor leagues, though, that was kind of forcing his way into the roster anyway. And so he did that, and then he's only up for a few games. It's just a little weird there, I think. Oscar, to me, it's just he's not a better defender than Lockridge. Lockridge is on the team, so I'm not making it seem I'm not trying to be like, well, Lockridge should be on the team over Oscar. Both are on it, but I'm trying to make the case for like Lockridge playing over Oscar. Oscar has the power potential, but that's really what it is. It's potential. He's had some RBIs, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, those RBIs were early on. Yeah, I mean it's kind of spread out, but his first two RBIs were in his first 4 games, and then after that, he's had two RBIs in the rest. Um, I don't think he's the best defender out there in left field. I don't have his savant numbers up right now. I could pull him up. You know, the better bat, at least potential, and right. I feel like that would be Campy. I'm not the biggest fan of Campusano, the catcher, but the hitter, I think there's potential there. And I'm a little disappointed that he wasn't given more of a chance here when he tore it up in the minors. I know it's El Paso, but he tore it up. Is this a possibility? I know Campy's not fast, but do they have him go get reps in left field? Or reps at first, just to increase the versatility for him instead of him only coming up and only DHing. Because there could be guys, right, that get days off and you have the half day and they DH. Or Gavin Cheese is in the order, but what if Campy is, hitting well and you want him in the order too? Or injuries happen, I'm sure Campy wants to catch, but he probably wants to be in the big leagues more and help the Padres more. Maybe that's something that happens here. I have not seen that. I'm just totally throwing it out there just as a fan here talking, but why not? Why not try in the minor leagues? The wins don't really matter, right? What we care about is the wins at the big league level. So try it out. They had Eggy Rosario playing center field a little bit, I thought, right? Obviously, Tyler Wade was playing center, and now he's playing some center at the big league level. Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting decision. Because Campy, let me see here. Campy, I know there was that base running mistake the other night, yesterday, and he hasn't gotten a hit, but he had 6 at-bats. 6 at-bats, and they sent him back down. And they'd rather have Oscar. But I think that's because he plays the outfield and Campy doesn't. Oscar has the power potential. He's a right-handed hitter. You're going to go with the guy that can play the outfield when you already have 2 catchers on the roster. The outfielder can DH. The DH you don't just go play left field. So maybe again, like maybe Campy does get some reps there. Yeah, I was surprised by that. In the minor leagues this year, because like 6 at bats, come on, 6 at bats, whatever. But in the minors in El Paso, I get it, it's El Paso, but he had a 104.3 OPS, a 322 average, and guess what? That's with consistent playing time. That's 25 games. That's 87 at bats, not 6 at the big league level this season. I thought they'd give him a little bit more of a shot. That's all. But anyway, good to see Merrill back. Obviously, a spark, energy. It is weird though, looking at that box score tonight, seeing 10 hits for both teams, and the Padres lose 12-3. This was the big blow up that we were hoping would never happen this year with the Padres bullpen, but it's a long season and it will happen to every team in baseball. That's just what it is. Padres, they still have the best bullpen in baseball. You can't convince me otherwise. I'm not going to be worried after this one bullpen performance where one of the guys in Wandy is coming off of a year last year where he wasn't that good. Now, he was off to a good start, so I do want to respect him there. But that's not Jason Adam imploding or Robert Suarez imploding or Jeremiah Estrada imploding. Morahone could have been better for sure. I'm seeing here 1 out that he got, 3 hits, a walk, But like Wandy, bases loaded, walking Trent Grisham on 4 pitches, balls down the middle, and it's like 85-mile-per-hour changeup, I think, on the granny. Just you're making it pretty easy on those Yankees batters. So we'll see if they can win the series tomorrow with Dylan Cease on the mound, bounce back, get the series win in New York, and obviously sweeping the Pirates. If start off this road trip 5-1, head into Colorado, that would be pretty darn good. By the way, Jake Cronenworth, he was with El Paso today. I saw that he homered. He's wearing number 29, I think, which looks really weird. I saw the El Paso video of him homering, and I'm like, hey, that looks weird. The 29 for me looks more weird on Crony than the number 11 did on Merrill the other day when he was with San Antonio. But yeah, Crony looks like he's making progress. He's going to be DHing, I think, tomorrow, and then would join the Padres in Colorado for that series opener on Friday. When he gets back, who is it that goes? Tyler Wade? I don't think so. Jose Iglesias? I don't think that they would send down an outfielder when they're calling up an infielder. That wouldn't make a ton of sense to me. So who would it be? I mean, what are the options? Iglesias, Tyler Wade, Oscar Gonzalez, Brandon Lockridge. Because I don't think Hayward would go anywhere. Sheets isn't going anywhere. Do they say, hey, we'll send Lockridge down because we have Wade who can play good defense, has speed, he can play infield and outfield, the left-handed bat. I want Wade and Lockridge, though, on the roster. Iglesias, I know he plays good defense, and that's valuable for sure. Maybe it's another game of the Padres, how they did it on opening day or before opening day, where they're like, all right, who can we send down where they're going to remain in the organization? Because Iglesias, if I remember correctly, he has opt-outs. And so if they send him down, then would he leave the organization? If they send Tyler Wade down, what would happen? If they send Lockridge down, what would happen? So maybe it's that game. Oscar, same thing. They send him down, what would happen? But yeah, that would be interesting. Who came up? It was Wade that came up, right? I'm trying to remember. When Crony went on the IL initially, I'm scrolling to find this here. Where is it? Cronenworth. Sorry. I'm just going through the Padres transactions. Okay. On April 11th, okay, it was Connor Joe. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Connor Joe. It was Tyler Wade. Yeah. Tyler Wade came up when Crony was on the IL. With what Wade has done, though, like, he's done everything to stay on the roster. I would feel some type of way if I was Tyler Wade and I get sent down when I've done like everything that the Padres wanted me to do. So that'll be interesting, but that's for later this week.